What's up, gang? What's up, gang? What's up, gang? If you're new here, welcome to the Spiritual Ghetto. If not, welcome back. Grab your water, grab your chapstick, grab whatever you're drinking at this late night hour. Sorry, y'all know I gotta do a sound check. Grab whatever you're drinking at this late night hour. Come on, let's jump right in. We're gonna we're gonna read 2026. Full year readings for the year 2026 are available on the website. Um, well as anything else you are searching for, seeking for, looking for. Yeah. Let's get into it. It's late. Let's see what 2026 has to offer. I think we are going to not do when you get a full year reading for me for 2026, we'll sit down and within an hour we'll discuss all 12 months. But for YouTube lay, we are gonna discuss the four seasons. Four events. Heard the word cataclysmic, but that's pretty. That's pretty jarring. Pianos and guitars. I'm hearing pianos and guitars. Um, I'm gonna read this as it's coming out. I'm not gonna change it. It's coming out. The first two cards that are coming out are suffering and cross conditions and mental suffering. Um, all right. So for a lot of people, this is going to be. I've talked about this a couple of times now, where I've talked about the economic system that's going to be in play for the coming 2026. So that's where they're taking this. Um, that's going to feel like a lot of cross conditions for a lot of people because the economic system of entrepreneurship, um, of this creator vibe that we are in, is ending. We are I keep saying 1962 as I channel these readings for like the new year and the economic upcoming or strength for the new year. I keep channeling 1962. And some of the notes I have written out here, where are they? They involve military, but we're not going to get into those just yet. I think I'm actually going to make those a separate reading. But I do have the 1962 economy, um, was involved in solid, steady growth after a recession. And if you heard me talk about, he's going to push the economy to a point of like a brink of a recession, to the point of like people returning back to regular jobs, regular work, this entrepreneurship, this creator shit, it's not coming to an end, but people who were meant to do it will sustain in that space, and people who were not meant to, and who were just kind of floating by, getting by, riding the wave, biding their time, kind of, accessing the eve, will have to return to like things that are better fit or better suited. This is also a time in which trade skills will boom again. Vocational trade skills, especially. So your cosmetologists, beauticians, plumbers, constructions, electricians, cooks, chefs. Again, heavy vocational training will boom again, will have its boom in industry again. Now, again, we do have this mental suffering out here because a lot of people are going to feel this intense pressure, in a monetary sense and an economic sense, and that puts a pressure on the mind. So there's going to be a lot of strain going into 2026, as there already is a lot of economic strain as it is, right? But we're following up that with the three of spades, excuse me, which talks about things coming to an end. So current systems collapsing, a lot of current structures that are not working collapsing as they are. Again, this entrepreneur and creator vibe that everybody feels like is booming right now is not stimulating the economy the way, somebody's plan for the economy to be stimulated. Somebody has The leaders of the country have a particular plan, and this wasn't part of that particular plan because they are not making buying TikTok was more than just an elaborate scheme to make the to make money off of the people who were making money off of it already. It was more than that, right? But it was set to take part of a system to again push people back to work because they want you guys to not necessarily be at your job creating again, but like at your job. um, what do we have else? What else there? What do we have out here? Five of spades. There's a lot of spade energy. So there's a lot of general life happenings during this time. A lot of general life happenings at this time. The five of spades represents movement. It can represent movement, travel, but it also represents healing. So it can represent sickness in a way, but it can represent healing in a way of like I'm very picky with my words, but it's almost like I'm hearing the words healing the economy. This this wave of this it's like something has to crash to be rebuilt, and they're forcefully crashing the system. I'm hearing forced system reset, right? We've got to crash the entrepreneurial shit in order to get everybody back into the regular bells and whistles trains and Hot Wheels and trinkets. What the fuck? But I was trying to say training wheels, but I heard Hot Wheels and trinkets. But it's like yeah. Hot Wheels and trinkets. Um, if you don't understand the reference, it's like when you work, the older men who work all their lives to get the Hot Wheels, the cars they enjoy that they drive around at, like the Dream Cruise, or they show at the auto shows or autoramas, which are very big in Detroit, which probably means this will um, impact hustler cities heavy. Like Detroit's a very heavy, hustler heavy city, so this will impact hustler. This will impact hustler cities heavily. So again, anything that's like similar to Detroit in that kind of work mentality. I'm seeing Atlanta, obviously your LAs. Yes, they seem to be major cities, and it's kind of like a wild guess, but those major cities have a social influence, a movement influence is how they carry, how they're ready to achieve, how people are ready to get to a certain standard. Tampa, Florida, for some reason, is coming up. Different parts of Florida are being highlighted as well on like a storm map. I'm seeing in my head like little red dots seem like a storm map. Um, and again, this may be healing, but again, if it's not healing, which it does seem like it is healing, this is definitely travel or movement forward through an economic shift or an economic ties. Again, changing the economy, the self restriction, change it, take something about the restriction. Um, I feel like people are holding back. People are restricting themselves. It's like, I don't know if this is people holding back or restricting themselves from working. Immaturity, Jack of Hearts. Yeah. Four of Clubs, Six of Hearts. Um, this almost says this the restriction is like of people finding what they love. The Jack of Hearts talks about an immaturity, but it talks about a new thing, a new beginning. That's why it's immature. That's why that's conflicty. Uh, that's not the right word. Conflicty is not the right word. That's why you bump heads in something in the beginning so much. Is because it's so new. With the Four of Clubs, this talks about doing it alone. Four of Clubs, the lone wolf. This talks about doing it alone. Four of Clubbers is probably what I'm trying to say. Um, Six of Hearts, again, a road to love, something you love. So in this case, it feels like pushing people. Okay, in a way, it's like pushing people into what they love. It's like, all right, it's such an odd message because I know the perception of the guy the message is from is kind of evil, but it's like he He wants to push people into what they love to do. He thinks it better booms the economy versus what we're all doing. This entrepreneur, he feels like the entrepreneur shit in us is rebellious. Five of clubs. It's an exhausted situation. This is working harder, not smarter, which is what a lot of entrepreneur. If you run a business, if you own a business, it truly is working harder. A lot of times, it's working. You work harder in running a business than you do in a traditional 9 to 5 setting. So this is definitely what this is. This is somebody attempting to push us back into kind of a brink in 1962. But I'm also seeing like when people were like, dying wanting to do what they love. They really want they like and it's like no one does that anymore. You just like if this is the idea that no one does that anymore. This is why the economy's not moving. This is why something's not moving. This is why the shift's not people aren't who they want to be. They aren't authentic. This is somebody telling you people aren't authentic, who very much himself seems inauthentic. Mm. But the King of Diamonds finally comes out here. After all these spades, all these black cards, the King of Diamonds finally presents itself here. This is provider energy. So, one of the biggest takeaways for 2026 is walking into a space of like what you love to do is going to be very important, especially when it comes to professions, jobs, like loving that job. Because you're really going to have to buckle down and get with it, get with the shits. It's like if you like what you like what you do, you love what you do, you're in the right fucking space. This 2026 will present a bit of ease to you. It's still going to give some resistance because it's an economic shift that we're like tugging through. There's a lot of entrepreneurs that are seen as like rebellious at this time. Rebellion energy is what this is. So it's a lot of tug and war back and forth. But this is seen as the ability to this is seen as the ability to shift based on what people like to do, right? That's what a lot of this is. They're trying to, uh, it's interesting, trying to unrestrict people in the most restrictive ways. Oh, I don't necessarily understand that. We're going to draw four cards that describe equally, not equally, that describe the four seasons. All right, I usually do 4 seasons on my yearly draw. Uh, well, let's talk about the 4 seasons. We're talk about the first season, winter, which we are currently in, which goes till about March. For winter, we've got the Eight of Hearts, which talks about betrayal. This is a card of betrayal. So things you think you can trust and depend on being undependable, right? Again, if I'm reading the economy, and feels more like economic reading of the economy for 2026, so maybe that's how I'll post this. Um, if we're reading the economy, this feels like if you trust your money if you've been very comfortable trusting your money, it feels like money's not gonna go further in 2020. It's something about money not going as far in 2026, right? The first card, the winter season, feeling like money isn't it's elasticity. It's not stretching as far. It's not enough. It's not enough. That's a betrayal. So something stability could be betrayed during this time for not I'm not gonna say not for a lot of people because again we're talking about an economic shift. So that is gonna involve some back and forth from major corporations to small corporations, some give and tug when it comes to payments, um, work, layouts, contracts, structures. You're gonna have to work a little harder in the winter season of 25 going into 2026, December to the March kind of energy. You're gonna have to work harder to go further. Work harder, dig a little deeper, right? Brace yourself for this. Feels like brace for impact. Let's talk about well, the next season, excuse me, spring 2026. The first card out is the Queen of Spades. All right, so I kind of like this coming out right after the Eight of Hearts. The Eight of Hearts talks about betrayal, right? It's a card of upset, it's a card of emotional tug and feeling. We're back to Spades again, which talks about life. This is talking about justice, getting even, getting balance, correcting a situation. If a situation needs to be corrected, it must be done so by your hands. So this is talking about that money, that same money that was betraying you, that was shorting you, that establishment, if it's an establishment that's shorting you, if it's stability that's shorting you, whatever this is, you are getting by the spring, you're gonna get in your battle rhythm, is what I'm feeling like, what I'm hearing. You're gonna get in your battle rhythm, and it's gonna be done by your hands. This is the card of the witch, the conjurer, the justice maker, right? This is somebody bringing justice to a situation, bringing evenness to evening like leveling the playing ground kind of evenness to a situation with this card here. This is doing what you have to accomplish that, right? Whether it is okay, whether it's manifesting, I heard manifesto, but whether it's manifesting, what I meant to say, whether it's spiritual work or mundane work, but this is maybe it's manifesting, whatever this is, right? I just saw 1644, which translates to 444. So whatever you're manifesting for spring is already protected. Let's talk about summer 2026, right? Springs look like it's up. If you're already watching this, that betrayal that's hit you in the wintertime, it stings a little bit, but you're gonna come back with a vengeance, right? If you're listening to this and you're prepared to take action. All right. So let's see. Let's talk about summer 2026. We've got the Six of Diamonds. We love this fucking card here. All right. The Six of Diamonds is the card of desire, right? It's the card of saying that your desires are on your road. Your road is open to your desires. So again, we have the betrayal in the winter. The spring, we're getting justified. We're rectifying that situation. We're conjuring. We're doing with a book. We got to do manifesting, bringing that situation into righteousness. And then in the summer, baby, it's big diamonds. Baby, do you see it? It's big diamonds. The Six of Diamonds stepping in the name. I know y'all are not, but that is an R. Kelly song. But step in the name of love. There could be love arising on your roads around the summer. But the Six of Diamonds definitely talks about desires. What is it that you desire? What is it that you want? Road being open to those desires in the summer. And that finally, after getting what we want, I'm hearing the song Natalie Nunn, doing what I want. Just doing what I want. All right. And then finally, to end off the winter 2026, we've got the Nine of Hearts, ending the year with luck and favor, because you've learned how to maneuver through these situations. And by this point, even if the economy or the rest of the world hasn't balanced itself back out, hasn't got its legs yet, you have your sea legs by this point. That's how I'm feeling. That's where I'm gonna leave it at. I appreciate you guys for being here. I guess this is what the economy is going to look like in 2026. I'll see you guys there. I hope you guys make it through. And yeah, I love you guys for rocking with me this entire year, 2025. I'll see you guys next year. I'll see you guys probably before then, but yeah, it's all love in the head. Thanks. Peace.